Hi guys, and it's Karina from Ragebreed, and obviously you know me as DJ Angel Witch or the vocalist of Lake of Dreams, Mindlapse, and next year I will be doing my Dead Reflection as well. So a lot going on. Right, so in this episode of Ragebreed Radio, we are going to be talking about Ragebreed Mind, Body, and Spirit. Um, and we're also going to sort of tie in with obviously our Rage Breed Against Bullying theme as well. I know that a lot of my staff are very, very passionate about this, and we talked to Adam from Bloodstock, and he has done an amazing post on the Bloodstock website to ensure that there is no tolerance, there's literally zero tolerance to bullying on the Bloodstock front. I know Sophie had a meeting with them recently, and they have continued to support Bloodstock, and so will Ragebreed because um, for us, we are completely 100% anti-bullying, anti-prejudices, but we do feel that the way to really sort of get people educated is to teach, and that's what Adam has been doing with Vicky, and she's been learning a lot more about the LGBT side of things. On top of this, he's listened to my story with the bullying as well. He's seen some of the vitriol which was posted, including the hater pages, and a lot of affiliates have seen it, and they are pretty shocked with what they're seeing. A lot of it isn't really mainly Bloodstock staff. Some people did join in on it, um, but he has assured me that he will be speaking to his staff and to make sure that they do not get involved in the boycotts and this harassment that I've been getting online. So it's great to see that there are very professional people out there in our rock and metal scene that do take bullying seriously. um and obviously the mental health that basically you get from bullying and prejudices and things like that. That's why it's so wrong, because it always creates mental health issues in others. Some people can, sort of brush it off if you like. But the thing is, you see, from what I've learned, is when you suppress things and you try to be strong all the time, it can actually make you quite physically sick. So it's good to talk about mental health. I do believe that the key to having a healthy mind is to talk about these things, and that is why we do Rage Breed Against Bullying, and we do Rage Breed Mind, Body and Spirit. So just to say to Adam from Bloodstock, a big thank you. We have been sharing out the zero tolerance page that they've put on Bloodstock, as we agreed, and our staff will be sharing it. Very happy that there has been something formal written on their page in relation to bullying, harassment, racism, that kind of thing. Okay, so I'm going to start a little bit about talking about, um, obviously some of the mental health issues that can be, as a result of bullying. So, I've spoken to quite a few people who have been on the receiving end of emotional, physical, even domestic bullying, which has involved sexual, attacks and things like that. And it's really important that we as a society can address these issues and be able to speak about them, um, and understand what the emotional implications of that is. And cyberbullying has become huge. I mean, you just have to look at any sort of post, and you really do see people that hold no responsibility for their words or actions. And it's something that Ragebreed are very, very passionate about, and we really do want to expose what's happening in this rock and metal scene, and show that we are completely anti-bullying, and we want to make sure that we put our story across as well, as I believe it's really, really important. But now I'm going to um, refer you to Johnny Chadwick from Rough and Rude, and he has a message for all of you in relation to bullying.
I'm Johnny Chadwick from Rough and Rude. There's another virus going around next to Corona. It's called bullying. We, the boys from Rough and Rude, and the family at Ragebreed Records are totally against bullying. And whoever's bullying, stop the bullshit. It's not worth it. Stop being an asshole. Stop being a dick.
I absolutely love that. That is so Johnny. It's completely straightforward and to the point. Stop being an asshole, stop being a dick, which is pretty much what it is, isn't it? Let's be honest. And, I've seen a massive change in the rock and metal scene over the years. I mean, I'm going back now from Monsters of the Rock era where a lot of people, it was so important for people to unite, get on. It was all about family. And I'm from that old school era where, you kind of all you are all one family, and I really believe that rockers and metalheads, when metal was less popular, we had this beautiful community. And over the years, when metal and rock music did get popular, um, it became sort of trendy in some ways, not all of it, a lot of the mainstream stuff. But it did attract, people that didn't have that kind of philosophy. And, it's very scary to see people who are very, misogynistic and, racist and stuff. And it's one genre of music where there's no accountability for it. And, it's a really, really big shame because, we need to get a lot more forward thinking when it comes to, these kind of things because it does impact mental health. You get social anxiety, you get panic attacks, anxiety, depression, you know, and it really, even if you believe in yourself, you've got people out there that will try and I quote, "knock you down a peg or two," because they hate to see people of color, people who are women, or both, or, it can be maybe because you're an LGBT supporter, or maybe you're someone who is, gay, or, or a lesbian. And, the judgment that people use can truly affect, the person, who it's aimed at. And, it shouldn't be about not being strong and not being strong because weakness is being the bully because it shows you have to put someone down in order to make yourself feel better. It's not strength. It's pure. It's how do I explain it? It's a real cowardly thing to do, and that's what bullying is. It's for cowards. It's for losers. You know. And you have every right to stand up for yourself. And when I've been talking a little bit with people or victims or targets of bullying, as I like to call them instead, is people that who may be wanting to do something with their lives, and you know they want to knock them down a peg or two. I've had that so many times, whether it's been domestic abuse. When we look at all what's happening in this world, how many people I've spoke to when it comes to guys not taking no for an answer when they've been in sexual situations, whether it's been men groping, whether it's been it's been so many different things. I mean, whether it's domestic abuse and, being covered in bruises. And someone said to me once, they're like, "Karina, you're such a strong person. And how on earth did you end up in a situation whereby, you were covered in bruises and things like that?" And, my answer for that is basically initially, you know, people who you meet, you don't expect them to turn into a violent person, but initially it was kind of play fighting, and that's how they kind of get into the first thing. And they make these excuses of what it is. But and someone said to me, "Oh, but what if it's a dom and sub relationship? Well, even with that, both people are, they know what the boundaries are. They still care about each other and they have a cuddle, and it's consented both ways. It's not an actual threat or abuse, if that makes sense. I mean, personally, I don't recommend it because I've gone through so much when it comes to stuff like that, but will equally understand that people have their own kinks and what have you, when it comes to things like that. However, the situation I was in, whenever I said stop, he would not stop. So it wasn't consented in that sense. So I was getting bruised up, and I was like, no, don't do that. He would try and bite me like a shark. Um, Even John, one of my best friends, was there when this was happening. Um, there was threat of violence. There was even a knife involved where he was threatening to kill himself and myself. He's pinned me down. I've He's tried to break down my door. And the list goes on. And it usually was if I didn't do what he said. And it was so controlled that he had to have his own seat and I had to have my place, behind him. And that was my life for a very long time. But you see, they break you down so much, so they try and look at your weaknesses and make you feel bad about those things. So I wasn't very confident in my body, um, and he would make me feel really bad about myself, and he would be trying to build up this bond with me while asking other women for sex, and I was at such an all-time low, and he made me believe that everyone hated me. And gosh, it was the most hardest time of my life, and I'm so grateful that I finally got the courage to end that situation. And the only way I could do it was to become stronger. So I started working out at the gym, and I, got taught a bit of boxing, how to use my strength as a woman. So when he threatened me, I was able to drag him out of my flat. So, at the end of the day, you know, I did what I had to do. And it was very important for me to do what I had to do because it it was and this is what I say to people, always stand up for yourself, because when you're in a position where you don't have um if you don't stand up for yourself, they will get used to treating you in an abusive way, and because you have no boundaries. And I'm still learning this when it comes to people, and this is why you will see me, just because I won't tolerate abusive behavior or being treated badly. I just Because I've gone through what I've gone through, I just can't handle it. I can't tolerate it. Um, and a lot of this is, I suppose, you want to feel safe. After you've been through something like that, you want to know the people around you are safe. You want to feel um, like you want to feel cared for and loved after something like that. And it's very hard because you're sort of traumatized when you come out of that situation, when you've been in that abusive situation for such a long time. And for me, it was like years, um, and I had to try and move on because, um, I'd gone from one very bad situation to another. So, you know, bullying is such a bad thing, and the mental health that follows is very hard to deal with. I had to go to UAVA, which was a woman. I think well, they basically deal with women who have gone through domestic abuse, and I'm so grateful for them because I had a lot of sessions talking to a therapist in relation to this, and it was horrendous. It was really hard to talk through the things that I went through because some of them were really awful. Um, but it was nice to be able to get that out. And I do believe that if you are a woman who is in an abusive relationship, or even if you're a man in an abusive relationship, remember that you can get out of it. You are strong enough and you are worth it. It's really important to start to love yourself, because if you don't, you can get yourself into, really difficult situations where you accept abuse, and because, you feel as if you deserve that. And that is when your mental health is on a decline. So at the time, I had PTSD. After that, I had severe PTSD. So, it's something to always be mindful of. And since I've come out of that situation, I feel so much better in myself, even though it's a work in progress.
My fears are rising. I count the feelings every day. I'm recognizing just what you did to me that day. I stand beneath you, the anger in your stubborn eyes. I try to escape you, but no one heard these damaged cries. You took my soul and tore it to pieces. Feelings are deep, hard to release this. I was the one who suffered your sin. You were the one who made it begin. What am I now? What did I do? Did I deserve to be punished by you? Just can't go on. Have to be free. This can't go on. Far from me. It's unforgivable. It's unforgivable. It's unforgivable. It's unforgivable. That was a power game. My power game is the power to release everything that you did to me. That was a power game. My power game is the power to release everything that you did to me. With everything I am, with everything I miss, with everything I do, I take my life with it. With everything I am, with everything I miss, with everything I do, I take my life. I take my life with it.
So that was an early Mindlapse track, and this was the time when we were doing quite. It wasn't really death metal, I suppose. It was more inspired by My Ruin and Chirasatana, um, some of Biohazard back in those days kind of stuff. So, but yeah, it's a really good song because it really was about me fighting about the things that had happened to me in my past, and all the bullying that I encountered with this clique in Leicester. Also, it was to do with the sexual attacks. Well, the sexual attack I had when I was younger and a teen. Um, and that was something that it's such a significant part of your teens, and you have to really battle, um, to get through that. I mean, I went through quite a lot of stuff like mild bulimia. I didn't have it full blown, but I was making myself sick. I was really unhealthy. I was trying to cut myself up. I was doing suicide attempts, and this is what happens when you go through something so horrific, and people don't truly understand the nature of how it makes you feel when you've gone through an attack like that. And you just don't want to be on the planet anymore. I just remember everything just being like a wilderness. I just felt numb. I felt, and the only person that really helped me through it was you know, the person I married later on, and that was Gaz, and he was the only person that could truly understand what I went through. A friend of ours went through an accident, and we're both in a lot of inner pain and turmoil, and we helped each other through it. Um, so yeah, so there's so much that people can go through when they've gone through a trauma, and I just wanted to share some of my experiences because I'm not afraid to talk about them, and I don't mind the world knowing because it's something that happened, and it's what's made me who I am today. Because the reality is, I am still alive, and I could have been dead that night. Um, and mental health is so important. People say, "Oh, you just toughen up," and but I try to do that, and it all caught up with me. So at some point it will. So it's really important to talk it through. It's horrible, it's agonizing, it's really difficult bringing up your past and the disappointment that you face with people who've betrayed you or hurt you or just, treated you so badly. Whether it's physical, whether it's emotional, it's such a hard thing to go through. And we all in our lives will have gone through something quite difficult. And what we have to do as a society is put focus on being kind to one another, because the more focus we do with that, the better our life will be, because it means that we can respect each other again, which I think has been lost over the years. We can have banter. I have people who I have banter with, but we trust each other to know it's banter. It's not, I'm hurting you and stuff. People say, oh, but I'm not bullying and I'm having a laugh with my friends. I get it. As long as both people are on the same page and they're not getting hurt by it, I have no issue with banter, but it's only a problem when you think they're not getting hurt and the other person is getting hurt. And that's where you've got to voice your boundaries to people. Um, and this is the thing, sometimes people stay silent and you don't know, and you get all these hidden resentments and things, which is why I truly believe that if you have problems, you should go to the person directly and voice it and speak to them about it. You can always, it may be an uncomfortable situation, but talk to them, because talking through something that's bothering you is so much better than just stewing in it and not knowing. Um, and sometimes the result will be, good, sometimes it will be bad. Um, but regardless, it's something that you have to talk about. Whenever I've had issues with any of my friends, I've always gone to them. We've talked it through. We've resolved it. Sometimes I've gone to someone and told them my issues with them, and they've come back with some really nasty stuff. So they really ended up telling me the truth of how they really felt about me. So they're the people that I cut off because they obviously haven't learned how to respect you. You get to find out who your true friends are. The mask comes off, For me, it's like when if someone has treated one of my friends absolutely awfully, and I'm talking, say, if they were racist to her or say they had cheated on her and stuff, and she was like one of my best friends, there's no way I would keep in contact with that person. I just wouldn't. And the reason for that is because I'm a loyal friend, but when it comes to me, a lot of people do not have that same loyalty, which is why I had to, recently really look at my life and really look at the people that actually care about me, And I know it sounds odd, but when you've gone through such a horrible ordeal in your life, and just mentally, when you've talked to a counselor, you've got to make decisions for yourself, which are healthy ones. And that means getting rid of the people that think it's okay to put you down, and I'm not talking sort of like someone who's giving you fair criticism. I'm talking about people that are continuously being nasty, if they're continuously putting you down, they've never got anything good to say to you. They're constantly belittling you. They're trying to make you look bad or humiliate you all the time, Um, and that's the thing, I mean, if you have done something wrong, like say, for example, if I had done something particularly bad, you know, and I wasn't talking to that person about it and I just decided to hide and run away, then fair enough, I would understand why someone would put that up. But for me, if I have done something bad, I would rather you come to me, speak to me about it, and we resolve things, in the best way that we can. Um, but there's some things that have done a lot of damage to myself and the Ragebreed reputation by some people. And that is why it's so important to express the truth, because it has affected how people see me and it has affected how people see my business. And it's through pure lies and through manipulation. Um, when you know that people have been trying to obstruct your business and they've started boycotts and things like that, it does affect you. Because for me, Ragebreed was something I did to help the scene, help the community, build a community. But it was also for me to help teach people, to help people gain a skill, to help people shine. It was a combination of reasons why I did it. It's to help bands grow, to help businesses grow. Um, and the problem that you have is that people are constantly judging you all the time, and it's so draining having to explain yourself to people who are committed to and misunderstanding you. And that is why, I just stopped listening and looking at hater pages and things like that. I just don't have the time and energy to waste on these people, because it is something that, it becomes a personal thing, because that they work for the promoters, it's to do with that, it's to do with boycotts and things like that. So and that's why I have to be very resilient when it comes to being a public figure, because I have to expect that there's going to be people like that in this world. Um, but at the same time, I'm only human and I do have emotions and feelings, and people forget that sometimes. And I think we have to be so careful about what we say and do. I mean, I've had to put the truth out there because a lot of lies was put publicly and privately, which is why I had to then stand my ground. And people didn't like it when it happened to them when I stood my ground, because they were being exposed for being a liar. But I had the evidence and I had the proof. Um, but all this is energy, and it's not needed. It's this is what I'm trying to say to our society, is that let's start being kinder to each other. Why is that such an issue? Why are people being so nasty to each other? Let's think about that for a while.
I'll make it with my power. I can hold on to my life. I will show the world I'm breathing. I can finally survive. 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 I'll make it with my power. I can hold on to my life. I will show the world I'm breathing. I can finally survive. 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 I'll make it with my power. I can hold on to my life. I will show the world I'm breathing. I can finally survive. 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 Aching, feeling, all the healing, wondering why I am kneeling down on the ground. I'm stealing visions of this human being. This human being says I'm to regret my ways. I feel it everywhere. I feel the bit of hope. This human being says I do regret my ways. I made it everywhere. I feel the bit of hope. Survive.
So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that particular track. Actually, this was a Mindlapse track, and we played a place in Derby called the White House, and it was an absolute pleasure to play there. We've played a lot of big venues around the whole of the UK. Things like Bradford Rios, Rock City, Sheffield Corporation, the Camden Coco, and so forth. This particular gig was meant quite a lot because we ended up speaking to a fan of Mindlapse, and she said that this track helped her get through cancer. And this is the thing, the power of music is such an important thing for us metalheads and, rockers. It helps us get through the toughest times, and I'm really pleased that our music was able to help, this fan. And, it will always be one of the most important parts of being in Mindlapse was to know that my music helped someone get through cancer. That was one of the biggest, best moments of Mindlapse for me, um, to know that, she said that her cancer was getting better and it's because she used to listen to that song in the mornings, and, I still remember that conversation. It was such a great thing to hear. Um, for me now, when I think about mind, body, and spirit, and when we talk about, the different mental health situations that we have in this life, it's so important to be taking care of yourself because, and people say, "Oh, she really loves herself. Oh, she's this." Let me tell you something. If I didn't have learn how to love myself after going through that therapy and everything, um, you'll be stuck with insecurities for the rest of your life. I'm not a supermodel. I'm not a size 6. I'm not a size 0. I would say I'm a size 16, which is size 16 to 18, I'd probably say actually, um, which is an average sort of size for women in the UK. But, I it's something that I battle with is for my weight and things like that. It's been a hard road for me to lose as much as I did. I mean, I was a size 24 actually I went up to a size 26 at one point. And, I really battled with my conditions because I had underactive thyroid, I had um, PTSD quite severely back then. So you're talking kind of like daily falling downstairs. Literally, like my life felt like it was worthless at one point. Um, and I did everything I could. I got therapy and everything. You know, um, and the thing with life is that you can't always, you know what that person is going to end up being like, and trusting people is risk. When I sat there and I said to my therapist at the time that I blame myself because of the choices that I've made, and she said, "Look, you don't know what people are going to turn out like. We hope that they would be a good person, but you just don't know, and you just have to just see it through, and experience will, being friends with that person or being in a relationship with that person, it's their actions that tell you who they are, you know, um, and I'm talking about committed relationships, um, so it's one of these. We've got to be in a situation whereby, you know, we've got to be in that sort of mindset. How do I help myself? How do I get to point A to point B? Because when you've been humiliated and bullied and harassed and beaten and emotionally abused and gaslighted by so many different people and deceived and had two-faced people around you for such a long time, it is so important to love yourself, to be able to say, I am not going to tolerate that. I'm not going to tolerate being disrespected anymore. I'm not going to tolerate being brought down anymore. And it's only then when you start to actually love yourself that you will start making better decisions about the people that you surround yourself with, the people that you bring into your life. And it takes work. It really does. I still have to work at the fact that, I miss people that were really bad for me. I've gone through so much trauma, and it's not a sympathy vote. It's just telling you the truth of the situation. I mean, it's going to take me a long time to really recover from what I went through. Seeing, mass bullying and seeing the people that you thought were your friends, turn against you, and each find and each person that you've helped in your life, or given them a place to crash, or cooked for them, or had them over, and all these things, and then you look at the situation, you think, wow, people really are fucked up. you know so you have to be so selective about the people that you bring into your social circle, and this is why with Ragebreed I'm being very cautious on who to bring into my affiliate group, because I don't want racist people in there. I don't want people who are um, affiliated with those that are, and even with everything that happened with Bloodstock. I spoke to Adam for a very long time, talking about what happened. I sent him, screenshots of things that happened, and a lot of it was to do with Uprising and the people that are involved with them, and also Blood Oath, because basically it's their clique and their friends that were responsible for a lot of the online bullying, and I've literally had I've their friends have been contacting um, so many of my affiliations and lying through their teeth, and it's absolutely disgusting. And this is why I won't support certain promoters or festivals. With Bloodstock, they've put something up. I spoke to Adam. He was like, zero tolerance to any kind of bullying, and I'm very, very happy about that, because, it does give me so much. It makes me feel happy that he's taken what's happened to me seriously, and also addressing the actual whole issue with what's happening these days, whether it's domestic abuse, whether it's violence, whether it's, you know, well, everything, prejudices, racism, LGBT prejudices, and education is the way forward, and he's not just brushed it under the carpet. He said, let me know what's happened, how I can help. And, he's had to talk to his staff to explain to them not to get involved with boycotts and online cyberbullying and things. So, I feel very reassured, by Bloodstock, that they've taken what's happened to me seriously, and they've taken what's happened with Sophie very seriously indeed. And if you can learn from things, absolutely, I support Adam. And it's something that's, people have to learn from their mistakes. It's like, say, for example, if there was a promoter or a band that genuinely apologized and actually said, I'm really sorry for what I've put you through. It was really bad of me to do that, and I understand that now, and actually genuinely meant it, and stop bringing divides into our community, then I'd be happy about that. We could build on that. We wouldn't trust each other straight away, but as long as there's an understanding that what they did was wrong, that's fine. But this is why we're doing, Ragebreed Mind, Body and Spirit, and Ragebreed Against Bullying. We really do think it's an important part, um, of our society, that we need to, as people who are in this community, we need to make it a safer community, so people aren't afraid of being, bullied, or talked to like an absolute piece of shit. We've got to get better at this, because all it ever does is just create more mental health issues. And is that really what we want as a society? I would rather be able to go out and think, you know what, these people are nice people, they're kind people, rather than thinking, oh, they're going to be bitching about me all the time, and that's what we need to change.
From the neighborhood with a bad complexion and a morning wood. Like an angel from above, you were heaven sent. I've been peeking through your window since I was 10. Hey, hey, hey. I wanna grab your hips, I wanna lick your lips, I wanna knock you out. I wanna
I'm Johnny Chadwick from Rough and Rude. There's another virus going around next to Corona. It's called bullying. We, the boys from Rough and Rude, and the family at Ragebreed Records are totally against bullying. And whoever's bullying, stop the bullshit. It's not worth it. Stop being an asshole. Stop being a dick.
So that was Johnny from Rough and Rude again, and basically that track was by Rough and Rude. That was called Love You Like Cosby, which is an anti-rape song, as you guys heard about the story about Bill Cosby. So basically they wanted to make sure that people were aware that that is an actual anti-rape song, for those of you that didn't know.
You are listening to Ragebreed Mind, Body and Spirit.
So I'm going to leave you a little bit with some advice, and I think it's something for me that has really helped with me. And a lot of that is, if you feel sad and if you feel down, there's no harm in releasing that emotion. Don't be afraid of crying. If you're angry, but please don't take it out on other people. You know, if you can get something, to help you deal with that anger, like, boxing, for example, or self-defense, which I thoroughly recommend. Also, things like swimming, where you're taking that energy into something which is going to be good for you is a really good idea. So, I mean, I try to channel it through yoga, and I've done a lot of yoga, I've done a lot of swimming. I do intend to do some self-defense. I've learned a little bit, but I do want to learn a hell of a lot more. And I feel like that's going to help you when it comes to, um, channeling the anger that you have inside into something. And even music, writing angry music. This is why I write death metal. It's not so much that, I want to hurt anyone or anything like that, but there are negative emotions in each of us, and it's actually a healthy way to channel negative emotions, where you are actually not hurting anyone, and it's just literally music, whether it's in poetry, words, things like that. And it's really important, because when you have gone through really difficult things in your life, it can turn you, you know, it can either turn you into a very bitter person, or it can turn you into someone that wants to teach from the experience. You can acquire wisdom from the situation, and you can deal with that energy in a healthy way. So, for example, going to the gym, meditation, learning how to make balanced meals, and not sort of using things like hard drugs to get over things. I mean, I know we talk about, I mean, a lot of people say, oh, well, well, drinking's just as bad, and, some things are legal and some things aren't and stuff. And, this everyone has their own boundaries of what is acceptable and what isn't, and this is not me preaching to you what you should and shouldn't do, but my advice would be is that, when you start taking the harder stuff, is it does change your brain, and it makes you sort of always need that high over and over again, which is why without it you kind of feel like you can't cope with everyday life. And I know this because of, some of the counseling stuff that I've done, but also, um, when I was researching a lot of stuff when it comes to, how drugs affect the brain and things like that as well. The other thing is, I mean, I don't really drink that much anymore. As a teen and in my 30s, I did, and I would definitely recommend cutting it out or cutting it down. And the reason why I say that is because when you're in a very emotional place and you drink, um, it tends to make you depressed. And that's why I stopped drinking so much, because I was already depressed, and when I drank, I just missed people all the time. So that's something to take into consideration.
You are listening to Ragebreed Mind, Body and Spirit.
Hi there, it's Karina from Ragebreed Mind, Body and Spirit. And today we're going to be doing a 10-minute meditation. So one of the things that you need before we begin is I want to make sure that you're in a comfortable position, that no one's going to disturb you for the next 10 minutes. You need to block out everything that's currently going on in your life, the things that you are overstressing about, let it all go. And I want you to sit in a position that feels comfortable and natural to you. So what we're going to do is begin with taking a few deep breaths. So I want you to breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. And I want you to do this 2 or 3 times until you're beginning to get a natural flow of your body. And I want you to think about your breath as and when you're doing this. So when you breathe in for 5, breathe out for 5. So I want you to do that 2 more times now with me. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Okay, so now we're in a position where we are in a state of, we're in touch with our bodies now. So what I would like you to do is to close your eyes, and I want you to imagine the soles of your feet, and I want you to imagine that there are roots growing from your feet going straight into the earth, and it's going right through into the earth, right down deep into the earth's core. And I want you to imagine some clear crystals, and imagine these crystals are full of light energy, cleansing, healing energy. And I want you to imagine that these roots are wrapping themselves around the crystals. And for every breath that you inhale, I want you to imagine that white, bright energy and light is coming through those roots up into the soles of your feet and into your whole body as you breathe in. And then when you breathe out, I want you to imagine that all the negativity and all the stress and all the problems are literally being sent out into the universe for the universe to handle it and to deplete it and take it somewhere else away from you. So what I want you to do is now close your eyes. I want you to take a deep breath in. I want you to imagine that lovely light energy filling up. Breathe out, and I want you to imagine that all that negative energy is going out with you. So that's one of the things I want you to repeat. Do it again. And all that negative energy is being released. And I want you to do that 2 or 3 more times. So we're going to do that together. So breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And just imagine your whole light, your whole light in your body just shining up and getting rid of all that negativity in your body that's being stored up. Breathe in. And breathe out, and imagine all that negativity is now leaving your body, and you're just left with this beautiful light white energy that is healing any place in your organs, in your chakra, that is trying to heal your body. And just enjoy the feeling of creative visualization, and just enjoy the feeling of that white light energy going through your chakras. So as you breathe in again, I want you to imagine that that white light is circling your chakra, your root chakra, and it's getting rid of all the energy, all the negative energy, and it's replacing it with positive light energy. And same again, your sacral chakra, breathe in. Imagine that light going there, and then breathe out all the negative energy out. Breathe in again. And I want you to imagine that there's a long line of chakras in your body. So you've got your sacral chakra, your heart chakra, your throat chakra, your third eye chakra, and your crown chakra. So for each chakra, we're going to imagine that this white light is going to come through, cleanse that energy, and then we're going to breathe out the negative. So our body's completely detoxed through good light energy. So let's go back into our breathing. So we're breathing in that lovely white light energy. Breathe out the negative. And then we're imagining all that negative stuff in your stomach chakra. Let's do it again. Getting rid of all the crap in there, just imagine all of it all going. And then let's go now to your heart chakra. Now, usually the heart chakra is the chakra which needs the most healing because we go through quite a lot of difficult stuff in life. So, I want you to open your heart to this beautiful white light healing and imagine this healing going through into your heart chakra. Breathe in, breathe out, and imagine that beautiful white light energy, swirling in that chakra and healing all the broken bits. Imagine breathing again and breathe out. Now do your throat chakra. So this is about voicing, I speak it stands for. So it's about voicing your needs and wants. So this is something very important if you're sort of low confident and you're not very good at speaking to people. So breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Okay, so we're doing this chakra and imagine all that negative stuff's going out, all the self-doubt is going out, so you're able to speak your true authenticity in your voice. Then we're going to go to our third eye chakra, and the third eye chakra, I want you to imagine that this beautiful white light energy is going through the roots, through all your chakras, right up to your third eye. So breathe in and breathe out, and do that once more. Breathe in and breathe out. And then what I want you to do is imagine that you've got a chakra on top of your head. This is called the crown chakra, and this is the receiver of external, energy and stuff. So what I want you to do is breathe in and breathe out, and imagine that beautiful white light energy going through your body, through your chakras, through every single chakra. And then now on your crown chakra, you're going to breathe that light energy in, wash all the negativity away, breathe out, and we're going to do that once more. Breathe in and breathe out. And then what I want you to do is imagine now gold droplets of rain all around you. And I want you to imagine this energy, and it's beautiful light energy that's protecting you. It's swirling all around you, and it's cleansing you of any feelings of guilt, of remorse, of it's about self-forgiveness and it's about forgiving others. So I want you to imagine this beautiful golden rain energy going through your body, washing away your fears, and just imagine your whole body just floating. And I just want you to just breathe in that beautiful feeling of complete peace and serenity. And breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. And now you are fully relaxed, and I want you to shake off your hands, any excess energy, and now your chakras are cleared for the day. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Ragebreed Mind, Body and Spirit. We have actually done this 10-minute meditation before in previous episodes, but we thought that, it might be a good way to help people that are struggling with anxiety, and finding it hard to relax. I do find that chakra meditations, even if it's just 10 minutes a day, will help people who may be struggling with stress, anxiety. Just literally go to a room where you won't be disturbed. And switch this part of the podcast on. You can actually find this on Ragebreed TV, actually, if you wanted to. So you can go to YouTube, find this video. It's Ragebreed Mind, Body and Spirit, and it's the 10-minute guided meditation. So I hope you have enjoyed this episode, and I know it's been quite emotional. Hope it doesn't trigger anyone, and I just hope that you guys find this useful. The main thing that I want to make sure is, I want to help people as much as I can through my personal experiences by sort of showing you that, everybody in life will go through difficult things, and to not give up and to really work on loving yourself and making sure you balance that out by loving others also. If we can create a kinder, community, let's build on that, because that is something that's going to help our society grow. It's going to decrease mental health issues, and why not? Let's try and build a better place for all of our, metal family to live in. On a global scale, let's not just do it from an English scale, because everyone knows where I'm from. But I did Rage Breed because I wanted to show that metal family is all around the world, and all races, and love this kind of music. So I want to leave that with you, and just to say, thank you so much for your support. We are so grateful for those who have, supported Ragebreed. Remember, if there's anything that you want to buy or want to, check out our services, you can go to two sites: it's www.ragebreed.biz and also www.ragebreed.bigcartel.com. Take it easy. Remember, keep it metal and keep it Ragebreed.